InShalla and Ashe. Blessings to you. So let's start in the corridor of the moon, and actually it's magic. But first, I want you to muse a little bit about resonance or frequency, because for me, the moon is one of the magical frequencies that actually carries its own personal resonance. And actually, everything does really. But I like the feeling that goes with not just the moon, but also all the waters of the earth or the sky for that matter. And I look at the sky as the galaxy of waters just in other realms or on their way into those other realms, the sky, the galaxy, stars, etc., cosmologies, the oceans, rivers, lakes, ponds, raining water, snow. So our bodies being mostly made from water, even coming from the water of the womb. First, we have the fire that ignites the passion, the watery womb, then the flesh of the earth. And I could go on and on and on, but back to the frequency, the harmonics, and even, I want to go into the ecstasy of music. It actually blends with the human soul, by the way, of hearing and vibration that creates a shared resonant experience in whoever's listening. And even dancing in all cultures, corridors, surrounds or surrenders to like a rhythm of like the drums and the drumming. And the resonance really will drive the bodies to kind of move in a choreography, I guess I want to say, in a magical way, just all together in a congruent theme. So we might not even know how all this works or even what to really even call it, but everybody knows when you have this experience. It's like when an orchestra plays, the audience has this shared harmonic experience that actually transcends separateness. And they're actually all linked together in a subtle unison that satisfies our soul. Even when a rock band plays in a concert, the audience even hears the music and feels, the bass, percussion deep inside, like inside to their bones, like they're bonded together in this shared experience of vibration and sensation and movement that can literally connect 10,000 into one resonant, cohesive kind of body. And you actually will know resonance when you experience it, but I think we feel it. So when we resonate with an experience, we actually feel more connected to the source. And it's as if all of the blockages are literally removed and we can be more of ourselves, like whatever that looks like. And it feels that these blockages, Tazzy, you're going to love this because I'm talking about energy and blockages. So, and feelings, they're all kind of musing together. But when you get into this resonance, it's as if all these blockages are removed, and then we can actually be more into ourselves. And what happens is when we become more into our own frequency in ourselves, it really feels awkward. It feels unnatural because we're used to feeling shitty, basically. And, we've succumbed to that feeling and that expression. So feeling good actually makes us feel bad because we don't know we feel good. So it's like these two sides of these same coins that actually get in the way. But literally, once we remove all these blockages, then we feel more like ourselves. And it feels this way whether it comes from like perfect words in a speech, or even when we think of somebody or someone and they call us like seconds before, or, if you're like me, aligning actually out in nature and just sitting into the frequency of the woods or the mountains or the streams. When we tune into a radio station out here, it's 101.3. I think it's K-Bear or something. I don't really listen to the radio, but the receiver actually is resonating with the signal that's being sent out by the antenna that's actually transmitting at that same 101.3. But it's only that station is received at that site on the dial. So energetically, I've literally through this whole past year, I intuit like my own frequency radio dial, and I'm switching it up into the ethers to like shift the frequency. So I'm frequenting a different channel, one that's, a higher frequency vibration, a more of a healing stage, just to stay outside of the muggle field is what I'll call it, the muggle field. And that's kind of how this all works. So the receiver and the transmitter are resonating at the same frequency without resonance. So radio transmission, that's kind of what's happening. And all of our modern kind of digital communication systems, like our cell phones, being on a Zoom, what I'm doing, etc. All of these transmissions, they actually wouldn't exist without these frequencies. Even when you open your car door with your key and it changes the lock from closed to open, it kind of does it mechanically. But when you use a fob key, it has a different frequency and it opens the door with a signal that connects with only your car door to unlock it and not any of the other cars in the parking lot. So it's all in this resonance with just the door or the truck or car, whatever that you're working on or opening. And we have the same ability. So this is awesome. So these locks, I'm giving you examples, are literally just tuned in to respond to the signal from the key fob and like no other key fob. That's the resonance. So we all experience resonance as a feeling. For me, this is more than just mathematics and geometry, or it's kind of more sacred geometry, shapes. And we all use these principles and others actually to design different kinds of transmitters, receivers, and just different gadgets that use actually resonance, which is, to me, it's frequency. So some engineers actually that design the key fob to beep on your keychain, so it's tuned like precisely to the frequency that opens your car door. So when you press the button, only your car in the parking lot will flash those locks and unlock the door. It's really not woo-woo magic. It's kind of physics and it's also resonance. So this is actually really cool, really. Another fascinating thing, and this is why I'm talking about feelings in the moon, because they carry a resonance and a frequency. And once you hone into your own moon sign, you have there's all kinds of magic to course through because our feelings create a resonance that's beyond our thoughts. But we got the two kind of mismanaged through programming is kind of the word that comes in. We've been programmed, right? So to me, it's just shifting the frequency out of there. So if you were to have two musical instruments, I'm going to go with violins only because my mother had a violin. But if you have string instruments in the same room and you use the bow to say the note of G on one of the violins, the G string on the other violin will actually begin to vibrate on the other side of the room. So this vibration from the first string travels through dirt and resonance to only the other G string on that particular violin. And no other string will actually vibrate except the one that's tuned to match that G string. It's a frequency. So that's also what resonance is. However, if there's a weight or a finger on the G string on that other violin, it's not going to vibrate or actually respond to the other G string. So that abstraction stops the vibration that should be happening with the matching string in the bow. So this is how our bodies frequent vibration. So that's what interference is. So when you remove the interference and allow the string to respond to that essential frequency, it will actually hum in response to that G string from across the room or a village for that matter. So this resonance happens when there's no interference between the source and the receiver. And that's kind of how we work. So if there's a building between, say, your key fob and your car, the door's not going to open because, again, there's interference. So when you come into line or sight with your car, you can see it. The interference actually is removed, and then, of course, your door opens. So this resonance happens when the interference is removed. So this is how energy blocks work as well. You have to get rid of the interference. So, question, is that why my chakras vibrate? Is that so? No. Your chakras are probably vibrating because they're getting in sync and they're cleansing. So it just depends if how big your wheel is. What are you using? Are you using a pendulum to check out how your swirl is the word? Like, are they swirling big? Are they swirling small? Because if it's a big swirl, then it's open. But if they're little, they might be a block. Oh, no, they're working great. So the cool part is, no, ma'am, it's not strong. I can feel it. Okay, no. So if you can feel them, so the scent, like you'll know when there's interference in the way because they're clogged, they're not moving. Even others, no, you're probably open and vibrating. Is it your back centers too, or just your front? Because we have energies, our spiritual energies come through our backside chakras, and our world energies are in the front. So are they both moving? All of them. So no, I think you're just tuning. Can you feel anything outside of your body? Because we have energy centers outside of us too. Front and back. Okay, so we also have an energy center right above our head. And then one straight up. You probably can't see it on my video screen now. It's about a foot above our head. Okay, so I think, how do they make you feel? Yes. So I call the soul star the shaman star, and this is the shaman's portal to me, like right above your head. And the one straight up here I call the soul's harmonic. So, did you take my quiz? I'm comforted. Yes. So yeah, I think they're all activated. But so usually if something feels uncomfortable, that could be interference. Yes. But if it doesn't feel uncomfortable, then I think you're just tuning in to the frequencies. You should be on my show so we can just talk. So I can kind of feel into your field. I think anybody who actually goes through a near-death experience, like that's an initiation. Hang on, I gotta move your. Ooh. I'm working on it for over a year into my program. Okay. So, okay, I know Bell's palsy. I had Bell's palsy. Yeah, I understand the death thing. So Bell's palsy is like your nervous system. It's the left side. What happens is you've got too much coming in. There might be some anger and resentment, like it might be even in your subconscious reality that you haven't voiced through the feelings, holding you back. That's what I'm heard to say. Yeah. So, I can work on you energetically, but I'm gonna have to see you. Yeah. I can see what's happening. It's kind of strange. So that's why I suggested acupuncture just on your left side to open up those portals to get the flow going. Does that make sense? So Bell's palsy affects your gallbladder meridian, and that's basically repressed anger, resentment. Might not even be your own. Might be like you picked it up. So once you release that, the Bell's palsy will go away. And the interference will go away. So, do you know an acupuncturist? I am live. This is hilarious. I love it. So, honestly, we need to shore up your boundaries. So, boundaries, it's like putting yourself in your own energetic sphere. Okay. All right. I know you're in Houston. I'm going to message you after my show. I think because it'd be easier for me to work on you one-on-one. And that's fine. We can Zoom. But this is how interference gets removed, because we have different laws of the universe that actually kind of create this resonance. I have been doing quantum. So quantum, so there's so much. There really is. There's different energy. So the quantum, we're actually kind of heading into a quantum dimension. It's super cool because we're in the spiritual and we're heading into quantum, what that looks like. So it's parallel realities are opening up. And nine is like the action, because you said you died 9 times. So no, I think we should just Zoom separate. That's what I'm being called to say. Just to heal the resonance of what you're frequenting. So it's just how the magic of the universe creates its natural magical rhythm when we pay attention to the frequencies we're frequenting. And also, to some extent, it creates our experience of our reality. So you need the physics, the math, and the electrical circuitry to create a deliberate resonance. But you don't need the physics, the math, or the circuitry, the G string, the hums in the frequency. It's just how the music will just come through at different levels and different frequencies and vibrations. So you can just unlock your door to your car. So the same principles kind of operate when we resonate with our surroundings of our environment. So sometimes we have to clear up, I'll say, shedding of the environment. It's like cleaning your house or cleaning out your closet, just moving things in nature. I do rituals all the time, not just to the land, because the earth actually is a flesh and we're part of the flesh. Water, where bodies are made of 80% water. So that's why I'm talking about feelings and resonance, because of the water aspect. And within the elemental realm, we have not just our feelings, but then we have our psychic abilities, we have our intuition. Those are all the fluidity of time and space of basically otherworldly presences that we all have the ability to collaborate with, but you have to nurture that unseen relationship because, we don't really see physics, but there's this biological circuitry that kind of is in our brain, our nervous system, our organs, our cells, and also in every cell in our body that actually resonates with the visible and the invisible surroundings in which we respond to. We frequent those frequencies. So for me, it seems that the same principles of resonance operate in our lives to create the inspiration, the intuition, or even what you might call luck. The Chinese call it the luck pillars and all this other stuff, but There really isn't any law of physics when you just turn left instead of right at the perfect time to run into an old friend, or maybe you decide to go to a store last minute and find a prize that's on sale. You just don't know why. You just feel into it, right? So you got lucky. You made a decision that actually improves your life because it feels right. There's no mathematical equation that's happening. It's a resonance, it's a frequency. And there are some choices that actually just feel right. So they actually resonate with your deepest desire, with your inner self, and it just feels easy. And then it relaxes, and then you get like these yes messages to a choice where somewhere inside of us, the interference actually disappears, the resistance will melt, your path becomes clear, and then the right choice, like water, flows just easily. So we can resist choice with sensible self talk or with anxiety, but often in the end, we make these decisions or choices based on the fact that it actually feels right in our energy body. And then we kind of reverse engineer the decisions after the fact to make it sound logical. But the truth is really just simple. It felt right and it resonated. So, this is actually how the circuitry of the moon works in its essence. The moon is literally what we feel, it's our emotions in motion. So, it's like wherever your moon is in your natal chart, that's where your feelings are at home, and that's how they feel for you. Years ago, I was taught by an astrologer I'd gone to, like, I won't tell you how long ago because that'll tell you my age, but she said that if you do not get in touch with your moon, that's where disease starts to manifest. And I already know like emotions are really connected to our organ system, what we feel, where our thoughts are attached to our structural system, like our bones and whatnot. Oh, honey, your moon's at a quantum number. No, let's see. Sun, Cancer. Is your moon Aquarius? Tazzy? So different phases of the moon. An Aquarius moon is actually a quantum moon, knowing where you do or you do not belong. It's like the law of attraction. You probably appear aloof in different ways. So yeah, I want to know the day of your event as well, because that tells a story as well. So astrology creates its own sacred geometry out in the heavens, in the sky. And the Chinese actually creates the elementals in the earth realm. And they all play a story. And we as beings are in between the earth planet and also the galactic corridor. So we're in between these two. So, yeah. And also in the cosmology of the Dagara, you actually are a nature person. So actually for you, connecting with nature, all of nature, that's where your healing and that's where your magic is. So I would go hug a tree, literally sit with a tree and do offering. Find your favorite tree and start doing offerings to the tree and connect to the tree. This is kind of where we're going to be going, is tuning into frequencies and feelings. Yes, animals and nature. So that's a space for you to heal. So I do rituals. I go up. I mean, I'm lucky where I live. I'm at the base of a canyon, the base of the big Utah mountains. And I go in and I do rituals at the base of this mountain, the rivers, the ponds, the animals, the trees. There's like a whole collective village that I have relationship with and I nurture continually. It's just part of keeping that door open to the other world. is what I want to say. So I can have like, I can get otherworldly messages. So, so it's the heat of Arizona probably. Yeah, we probably need to ground you into your homeland. Yes. Yeah, I get that. Um, hang on, Tazzy. I'm going to send you a link. Do you have Messenger? Dun, 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 dun. So for those of you that are all my other channels, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to stick with the phases of the moon. If you can find your chart, that'll help a lot. And we can play with that. I'll message you. We're going to explore the houses and whatnot with the moons, but be patient as I throw this all together in my corridor. My mind usually gets ahead of me sometimes. I'm kind of like a racehorse running through space and time. It's just what works for me. And also, I'm going to be creating a new moon meditation. And just a little FYI, new moons are always in the sign of the sun, whatever the sun's in. So what's curious is actually to see the degree of the new moon, because that tells a sacred story of what that even looks like. It's like your own personal Merkaba that we all have. And also, we still have our Blockbuster show on Sundays in the Musing corridor. Just remember to fill out the form so we can collaborate on what's interfering with you living the life you're meant to live. InShalla and Ashe. Blessings to you. Okay, I'm going to message you right now.